So I decided to do the 3-for-1 clown show that features Stephen A. Smith, Rob Schneider, and Tony Rock, who, for some reason, can't, keep Will Smith off, off their mind. But in particularly Tony Rock. But I'm going to get to Tony Rock in a minute, but I'm going to start with Stephen A. Smith and Rob Schneider. Now, keep in mind that for some reason, TMZ decided to interview Rob Schneider, a dude who haven't done anything of relevance in, I don't know, the late 2000s or something. I'm trying to think what was the last thing Rob Schneider did that was of in importance. Because, I mean, Deuce Bigelow was made like 20 something years ago. And it was okay. And, he decides to go on TMZ. And you could tell there's still people that's just looking for a storyline to just keep pushing something that mostly everybody has moved on from. I think what's going on as well, I think a lot of people are scared now. And don't be surprised if there's another attempt to come after Will Smith, because based off Will Smith drawing power and the fact that basically he can bring them in at the box office, because really from what they're saying that Bad Boys 4 really has officially jump started, the summer movie, the summer movie theme. So basically what's going on is that you just have some media outlets that just won't move on, but they love to do this to black people, and particularly black men. Like I said, when everybody does something to black people, they tell us to move on. They give some old fucked up, crumped up ass, sorry ass apology, and they tell us to move on. But then when we do something, it doesn't matter how many times we apologize and say that we were wrong, they just won't let it go. They won't move on from it. They won't shut up about it. The people have spoken. And based off the tally from what Bad Boys 4 did globally, everybody has moved on from the Chris Rock thing. But this is what a lot of times the mainstream, lamestream, white-owned media likes to do. They just keep something going. They will try to recycle, even though when it looks like the flame is about to be put out, they will try to add some lighter fluid to it to keep it burning. And this Will Smith thing, it's gone now. And people need to move on from it. And then when you accuse these outlets and certain groups of people being like racist, then they want to play stupid. It's like, hey, man, the man did apologize several times. And that's another thing. They want you to constantly keep apologizing and keep having to talk about this shit. Will Smith doesn't have to talk about this no more. We don't care about Chris Rock. Okay? Most of us didn't give a damn when Will Smith slapped him anyway because he deserved it. Because he tried to disrespect that man's wife on a global stage. And then we all knew what it was because Chris Rock was trying to get at Jada Pinkett Smith. He had a vendetta against her, and he basically tried to go on a global stage, the most so-called prestigious award ceremony in filmmaking, and he tried to disrespect her and humiliate her. And for his attempt to humiliate her, he got humiliated himself when he basically got this you know what I'm saying, the slap taste out of his mouth, where he got the taste slapped out of his mouth. Y'all gotta excuse me, I haven't woke up yet. And Will Smith slapped him. He slapped him. He humiliated him. And of course, everybody had this fake outrage. I told you, if they had did this at the BET Awards, nobody wouldn't have gave a rat's ass about it. But it was the Oscars. So that's why everybody blew it out of proportion. You had people going as far as to say that Will Smith should go. I mean, come on, man. And they asked Chris Rock, did he want to press charges? He said no. But here we are now. You got people still bringing this stuff up, like Rob Schneider. You got Stephen A. Smith. Like I said before, who cares what Rob Schneider thinks? What has Rob Schneider done that's of relevance? Nothing. He was a mediocre actor to begin with. He only struck gold a couple of times in movies that he headlined with the 2 Deuce Bigalow movies. And for the most part, he was nothing but a supporting actor. Because he really couldn't carry a film. See, that's the difference between him and Will Smith. See, Will Smith is levels above Rob Schneider, but Rob Schneider's trying to bring some attention to himself by, appealing to some of the masses who just don't like Will Smith. There's always been this secret envy towards Will Smith. You had rappers who didn't like him, and then you had actors that didn't like him for some reason. You know? So he was, at the end of the day, I kind of think back to how Will Smith was treated by his own community for the type of music that he put out. Because actually, to be honest with you, Will Smith made good music. Once he became Will Smith, he actually made good music. You know, when he got out of the Fresh Prince mode as Will Smith, he actually made really good music. Okay? Will Smith gave us one of the most nostalgic, iconic songs in history. Hip-hop history. Not hip-hop history, music history. Summertime. That song got made over 30 years ago, and it's still an iconic classic record. One of the most classic records made within the last 35 years. Not hip-hop, records, period. And that's just real talk. One of the most iconic, historic records ever made. It has stood the test of time for 3 decades. So I'm just laughing at the fact that some people still carrying on from this thing. At the end of the day, Chris, as far as Tony Rock go, Tony Rock needs to shut up, because at the end of the day, he wouldn't have a career if it weren't for Will Smith. Will Smith put him on. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Okay, you sitting up here saying that's your brother and it's 9 of y'all. Tony Rock, let's keep it 100, bro. You will never be able to do what Will Smith did. At the end of the day, dude, you sitting up there saying that Will Smith did this, he did that to your brother. Tony, you know damn well you can get in contact with Will Smith. You already know, and most of us know, you ain't gonna do shit if you seen Will Smith. Let's just keep it a buck. Will Smith got enough money to have you and your entire family wiped out. That's just real talk, dude. The man is worth like $450 million. So it's nothing for him to just like basically, and I'm not saying Will Smith on that type of time. Y'all keep forgetting that nigga Will Smith is from West Philly. I've been to Philadelphia. Y'all do know the nickname for Philadelphia is called Philadelphia, right? One year they had like 600 homicides. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it 100. Just keeping it 100. The question you need to be asking yourself, Tony Rock, why did you sit up there and not respond to your brother, or at least call your brother out for sitting up in front of a bunch of white people, letting them call him the N-word with the ER, and Chris Rock didn't do nothing? Louis C.K. and Ricky Gervais and somebody else was there. I forgot who it was. Chris Rock, like the coward he is, didn't say nothing. It took Jerry Steinfeld to say, hey, man, I don't feel comfortable with you saying that. And I know people be trying to say Louis C.K. is a Mexican. Well, he a white Mexican. And if he was Mexican, it wouldn't be okay. It's not cool for Mexicans to use the N-word. They're not black. And they don't like to identify with black, and they don't like to be aligned with black. There's no black and brown coalition. Yeah, I said it, and I stand on it. Don't have no problem with Mexicans unless they have a problem with me. But I have a problem with anybody that has a problem with me for no reason. And I don't see color when somebody has a problem with me or tries to disrespect me or disrespect my people. If I see black people trying to disrespect my people, I'm going to get at them. But I'm definitely going to get at somebody who ain't black trying to disrespect my people. Like I said, Chris Rock didn't do shit. He sat up there and let them say the N-word with the ER. And didn't say nothing, had that goofy Kool-Aid smile. But all of a sudden, you be trying to talk all hard and stuff. You need to, man, how can you respect your brother? And then you sitting up talking about your mama was embarrassed and hurt by seeing Will Smith slap her son. Well, she should have been more embarrassed by letting a bunch of white motherfuckers call your son the N-word. And he didn't check him. So you was disappointed and I would be more disappointed letting a whole bunch of white people sit up there and call me the N-word and he didn't do nothing about it. I can promise you if that was me, chairs have been flying and fists have been flying and kicks would have been in the air because I don't play that stuff. But you sitting up saying that was wrong what Will Smith did. Well, that was wrong for your brother to sit up there and try to humiliate a black man and his wife in front of the world, in front of a room of white people. This is the same Chris Rock that sat up there and said, "Oh, I love black people, but I can't stand." And then he opened up the gate for people to try to differentiate the difference between the so-called black man and the N-word. You actually have white people basically trying to use that ideology. Well, okay, cool. Well, there's a difference between a white man and a cracker and a hunky and a peckerwood. You know what I'm saying? And a snow creature and a cave demon. So, I mean, since you want to go that route, right? You actually have people trying to rationalize that stuff. So Chris Rock been doing that stuff in his comedy, been kind of like dry snitching. Basically giving the other side intel. To think that they could actually come at black people like that. That's why sometimes I'll fall back on comedians and stuff, because they give away too much information sometimes. And people be actually thinking they can come say that stuff to black people. Now, this new generation of black people is weak and gutless. And they sit up there and say, "Oh, it's only a word." Well, you know what? It's people that they lost their lives behind only a word. Getting tallied up and getting strung, hung. Just because of that word and getting called that word before they lost their life. So at the end of the day, when I hear people talk like that, it is what it is. They just cowards. Got all the smoke in the world. They'll go back and forth. They will argue to the T, try to argue down to defend other people that don't look like them. But you don't see people returning that same love and respect in return. I done seen it way too many times. So Tony Rock need to shut his sorry ass up. And it's just real talk. He need to just shut up. And then Stephen A. Smith, he done got globally roasted. When I say Stephen A. Smith, when I say Stephen A. Smith then got globally roasted for his acidine comments to why in the hell Will Smith need to address the whole black community on why he slapped Chris Rock? We all know why he slapped Chris Rock. We saw what led up to the slap. That was 20 years in the making because he finally got tired of that dude disrespected his wife. Chris Rock for years been like taking shots at Jada Pinkett. Like, what is you supposed to do? Once again, he went on the biggest stage you could think of and basically tried to disrespect that man. Everybody keep talking about, oh, Will Smith wouldn't have did that to The Rock. He wouldn't have did that to, and that's why another reason I don't like DJ Black talking about what somebody wouldn't have did. You wouldn't have did it. We all know you got your ass touched up by Rick Ross. No, you wouldn't have did it. People love to talk about what somebody wouldn't have did. You don't know that. And they probably, first of all, The Rock wouldn't have disrespected Jada Pinkett like that. And probably neither would John Cena. People love to talk. So when they about Stephen A. Smith, he tried to pull that, well, you wouldn't have did that to a white. How do you know? We know one thing. You won't do that to a white person. You got all the smoke in the world for black people. No, what you need to be doing is having a town hall with Kyrie Irving and Marvin Lewis and Kwame Brown. Some of the black people that you've hurt and tried to destroy their careers. And we know that your white bosses at ESPN put you up to make an ass of yourself, saying that ridiculous asinine thing. That was some straight Hollywood shuffle stuff. One thing I cannot stand is white people trying to tell black people how to be black. What part you motherfuckers don't understand, you will never in your life be us. You will never understand us. So, you know, it just got to be said. It got to be said. You will never understand us. And stop trying to, and for the most part, trying to act like you want to understand. That's so disingenuous. But like I said before, Stephen A. Smith take orders, even though that show he has on YouTube is supposed to be his own show, but he still get orders from his white bosses at ESPN. And I could tell somebody white suggested that to him. Nobody black told him he should sit up there and say, hey, well, maybe you need to address. I could see it right. Hey, Stephen A., why don't you go on your show and just say Will Smith needs to address the book? You could just tell that was somebody white telling him to do that, or somebody non-black or some coon, but it was probably some white dude. And then let him take the fall for it and get, like I said, internationally roasted by black people all over the world because he made a fool of himself and he sounded stupid. He sounded absolutely stupid, and there's no other way to put it. I mean, you made a complete idiot of yourself, and you deserve to get roasted. You even had other coons roasting you, like D.L. Hughley. That speaks volumes. So I was just laughing. I was just laughing when I first heard him say that, and then he's sitting up there saying, and he was hoping that the movie failed. Now the funny thing is, he talking about what Will Smith wouldn't have did. Well, we know what you didn't do. We know you didn't. It's funny. You didn't say nothing about Jerry Jones being at a Jim Crow rally. You didn't go in on Aaron Rodgers, who lied about taking, the potion. You ain't said nothing about all them MMA fighters that got convicted for domestic violence. You didn't say nothing about War Machine. You ain't said nothing about the owner of the New York Knicks and James Dolan, who's accused of the unthinkable. You didn't say nothing. That's just real talk. And you ain't said nothing about that football player. That white football player that beat his black girlfriend within an inch of her life. That's real. You ain't said nothing. You downplayed the Josh Giddey situation, but you can't keep Diddy out of your mouth. So I'm just saying, dude. They ain't said nothing about Brett Favre. Stealing from the people. But every time I look around, you sitting up here trying to wag your finger at black people. Nigga, please. Who in the fuck gonna listen to you, dude? Yeah, he ain't said nothing about Chad Willer. Nothing. And mainstream media didn't say nothing about him. But everybody, but this Diddy shit ended up on nationwide news. Diddy ain't got no affiliation or attachment to sports. But there you have it. That's what I'm saying. He never has the same energy. So that's why everybody cooked him, because they see it. And then he tried to walk it back, talking about he gonna stand down. No, dude, please stop trying to speak for us. You're not one of us. You haven't been one of us in 20-something years since they kicked your ass off of ESPN the first time when you said you was living off your savings. When you got your black ass back there, you decided, hey, at all costs. Everybody knows your famous quote. Every day I wake up trying to figure out how I can make my bosses more money and how I can get some of it. That's all. That's all she wrote. Once you say something like that, that's it. You're done. You a cast off. Why would anybody in the black community value that lousy nigga's opinion? Same thing with Floyd Mayweather. Black people supported Floyd Mayweather like it was going out of style. Black people was having Floyd Mayweather fight parties, supporting this clown. And then he turns around and say that the black community didn't support him, didn't buy his gear. He said Mexicans helped get him where he is. Okay, Floyd, cool. So, cool. Because I could have sworn the whole time when Floyd was fighting, they used to have Floyd watch parties at barbershops, the bar, and people would turn up to watch Floyd Mayweather fight. They would buy his pay-per-views. But you said only Mexicans help you? Man, fuck you. Real talk. Stephen A. Smith can have several seats. He ain't said a damn thing about the Brett Favre thing. Ain't said next to nothing. And why wasn't he? And then all of a sudden he mad at Diddy, but he ain't said nothing about Dana White. He defended Dana White for slapping his wife that everybody saw. Oh, Dana White, he's my friend and all. Man, please. That's what type of dude Stephen A. Smith is. He has no credibility in the community. Hey, us black people, we didn't support Floyd. And then you got people that sit up here and try to play that black card. Hey, man, Floyd ain't one of us. So there you have it. But anyway, I got to start my shift. I'm out.